Well, we're back. The 99 is back on the bench, the one that we have done our recent little wiring project to. And this is going to be the last time you see this machine for a while. But I did want to do one more video in this series. I promised everybody I'm going to talk about the various connectors, where to get them, how much they cost, and the pros and cons of the various types and sizes that are out there. Now, a couple of people have commented that they don't particularly like the blue. Yeah, I get it. My good friend Marie, she tells me that there are plastic paints out there and primers that should be able to paint these blue parts. I have not tried it. I trust Marie's judgment. If Marie says there's a paint out there that'll do it, I tend to believe her, because she knows a heck of a lot more about paint than I do. But anywho, let me get this off the bench. I have an abundance of connectors I want to show you, and we'll talk about them and talk about the other component parts that we used. As you can see, we got a whole pile of stuff here out on the bench. To make your life easier, I put together a spreadsheet, a PDF copy of which will be available for free on my website. I'll have a link down below. The reason I did a spreadsheet is this gives you the description, the size, the type, all the important information, but especially the URL where you can find it. These prices and availability are all as of today, April 29th, 2024. All of this stuff was purchased on Amazon, and like I said, I'll have a spreadsheet available, so it'll help guide you if you're looking to buy any or all of this stuff. You definitely don't need all of it. I spent a lot more money than I want to admit to at the moment. We'll start though with what's inside the Bentwood case. I used this 3-position terminal block. Now, I had looked at my local electronics supplier. He only had ones that were 5 and 6 terminals. I only needed 3. I found these on Amazon. The thing about this particular one, the standard ring terminals that I use that fit a number 8 stud will not fit in here. So you're forced to use spade terminals. Spade terminals are fine. They go in, no big deal. These are very well made, plus they have a little plastic safety cover. Best part about this, the unit cost is pretty cheap. These came as a pack of 10 for $6.29. So you're looking at 63 cents a piece for those. You don't necessarily need to buy 10 of them, but I'm just saying, even in quantity, that's not bad. As for the AC power plugs, I use these Levitons, I try to use these all the time when I have them. I recently bought 5 10-packs. But what I like about these, first of all, it's a very nice hinged clamshell type connector. It is polarized, so you have a wider blade here for your neutral. And of course your neutral is identified inside the connector with a silver screw versus a gold screw for the hot. The wire path is very nicely set up inside with these little posts. So when you make your initial connections, then you just spread it apart a little bit more and you can guide the wires through. You saw that when I was putting the other thing together, if you stayed that far into the video. I'm not going to take this apart, take that apart again to show it. But anyway, these are, like I said, I bought these on Amazon. A box of 10 was $16.99. So you're looking at about $1.70 a piece for these, which is far better than you're going to find it just about anywhere else. And good luck finding this particular one in either Home Depot or Lowe's. Most often, they don't have the polarized ones, and they usually don't have them in black, just in brown or in white. But anyway, link is on the PDF file. Okay, for the part everybody's been waiting for, the connectors. All right, I bought 3 different sizes. I bought these down here. These are all 13 millimeter. And when we say 13 millimeter, we're talking about the size of the mounting hole required to get the panel mount on. I bought female panel mounts, or I should say plugs with a female panel mount, plugs with a male panel mount, and then I bought these inlines. I haven't used the inlines yet, but the nice thing about the inlines is, well, let me open this one up and you can see what it is. This one has a female end on the side that's got a nut on it. If you were desperate and you ran out of female panel mounts, you could take the back of the connector off on these and use it, because it's got the nut and everything. You could use it as a female panel mount connector. And honestly, when I bought these, it's because I couldn't find the standard one with a female panel mount, so I bought some of these, and then the other ones became available. So anyway, that's the 13 millimeter. These are the ones that I used for AC power for both the 128 and for the 99. So I'm going to push these over for just a second. This is a 16 millimeter hole. This particular one, female panel mount, male plug. This would be an excellent choice for a foot controller. I bought the 16s, basically I wanted to see how they were going to look. I didn't use them. On the 99, I used this puppy. This is a 20 millimeter with a female panel mount, male plug. Really kind of overkill, and if I were to have done that again, I would have used the 16, not the 20. But here's the thing. Ken, one of our viewers, and Ken is a sewing machine mechanic with a lot of years of experience, especially on industrial machines. He pointed out that some of these are available with right angle connectors, so that the connector's not sticking straight up. Problem with that, I haven't been able to find any of them smaller than 20 millimeter with a right angle connector. Now for a 20, it would be great, right angle. You could, if you bought a 4 conductor one of these instead of a 2, you could wire power coming through out of this and foot controller coming out of it out of one connector, and it would work just fine. But and you could do that with a right angle and it would be great. And I'm sure somebody's going to look at that and say, hey, I can do that. That's no problem. You would still want to use a terminal block inside to make the rest of the connections, but it would be a relatively simple thing to do. But regardless, the 20 millimeter may have been a bit of overkill. A 16 probably would have been fine. But I want to talk for a second about male and female power panel connectors. And I want to show you a couple of things. All right. This male panel connector, this is fine for input power on the machine. As in, so that this side will go to the power cord and this side is mounted on the machine. So female on the power cord, male on the machine. That is the only acceptable way to wire power to the device. The reason being, you can touch this all day long, nothing is going to happen to you because it's not plugged into the wall. Okay? Because that's your power connection. However, had you used these for both your power and your foot control, if you had plugged your your power into the wall and you had a male for your foot control, it would be very easy to accidentally come in contact with this and zap yourself. Take a look at how the conductors are actually recessed into the female panel mount. Very difficult to zap yourself, much like a wall outlet. That's for safety purposes. So if you're going to have power coming out of the device, much like power coming out of the wall, you want it to be a female connector. Male connector going to the other device, which in this case is the foot control. So it's real easy to see that on the 20 millimeter. and likewise the 16. Now, something really cool. Let me reset, and I want to show you something really neat. This is a standard cover plate for a bentwood case for a machine that's using Chicago connectors. The Chicago plugs would go in through these holes. Here's something really cool. Here is our 13 millimeter male panel mount. I'm going to put that in the outside hole. You know where this is going, don't you? Okay. This is a 13 millimeter female panel mount. I'm going to put this on the other hole. And yes, there is sufficient spacing so that the nuts will clear each other. And you can tighten this up. It's barely enough spacing, but it will work. So now, ta-da, imagine power cord here, and I would take these waterproof covers off. Foot controller here. Bada bing, bada boom. Very easy, and you can't get them backwards. And the nice thing is, these connectors, nobody can go screwing with it and plug the power directly into the foot controller. So yeah, this, if I was going to be doing a conversion, that would be my first choice right now. Would be 13 and 13. It gets rid of the Chicagos. That's what you would need. Right there. Those two parts. Now, let's see. The 13 millimeters. Well, I bought these only in 3-packs. I did not buy these as individuals. So, but the unit price on these is like, when you're buying them in 3-packs, is like $6.33 for each one of those, and then 63 cents for that. So, really, for under $15, you could make that conversion complete. So, that is something to consider. And it fits, and it looks nice, well, with the exception of the blue. But Marie says that there's paints out there that will cover that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show you on these. There's a whole bunch of different plugs and connectors out there in this style. If you go looking around on Amazon, now you'll have links that'll get you started, and you can go poking around for yourself. They're not only just 2 conductors. There's some of these are available in, up to like 28 or 30 conductors on the larger size shells. If you wanted to do if you wanted to make a grounded power plug for your machine, you can get even the 13 millimeter in a 3 conductor or whatever, and you could actually run a hardwire ground to the frame of the sewing machine so that the machine is completely grounded. It's quite possible to do that. There's all sorts of options you have with these. If you wanted just one connector for everything, for power and for foot control, you could do that with very easily a 4-pin or 4-conductor connector. You just have to be cognizant of which one goes where. Now these are all numbered. You can see there it's 1 and 2, and then when you take the shell apart, when you're wiring these, inside you'll see they're also marked, pin 1, pin 2. So you've got options. You could use a 4-conductor connector and have the 2 conductors being for power, 2 conductors being for the foot control, and just have 2 wires coming out of it. There's all sorts of different options you have. I just wanted to show it to you, let you know what the options are. This is what I did. I spent a lot more money than I needed to, but yeah, it's going to work. and I'm going to be going through machines that I own that use Chicago plugs where the power cords are in bad shape or just whatever. I'm never going to sell a machine with that uses Chicago plugs without changing it over to something safer. That is for certain. But anyway, yeah, that's what I got for you on this one. Like I said, there'll be a link down below to the PDF, which will be on my website. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.